Water Wisdom, sponsored by waterfilters.net. I'm your host, Aquaman, and today we have a special guest from Viqua. This is Melissa. Melissa, we're looking at UV systems today. Tell me something, why do I want a UV system in my house?
Well, what a UV system does, it is targeting microorganisms. So by putting a UV system in your home, what you're doing is you're putting that little added bit of security for your drinking water in your home, if there's any bacteria in the water. And this could be for a home that's on a private well, or even a home that's on a municipal water supply, just for that added bit of security.
Even on a municipal water supply, what do I have to worry about if I've got chlorinated water?
Well, what can happen, and not to say anything against municipal water, but what can actually happen, and you'll see it in the news a lot, is there's things called boil water advisories. And what those are, if something goes wrong at the water treatment plant, what they have to do is put the whole city on a boil water advisory, telling them not to drink their water. If you were to have a UV installed in your home at point of entry, you'd never have to worry about that because your water is safe because it's going through this UV system.
So what are the kinds of things that a UV system will care for? It's killing microorganisms and pathogens. What kinds of things? What are some examples?
The main things you want to worry about is things like everybody knows E-coli, fecal coliform, total coliform. Other things that you want to consider if you are pulling water out of a lake or stream, surface water, is things like cryptosporidium and giardia. And everybody's heard of beaver fever. UV systems will actually take care of that, so there's no concern.
These are things that are going to make me really, really sick, and if I don't die, I'll wish that I had died, right?
Absolutely. But another thing you want to consider as well is sometimes people have been drinking their water from this well source for many, many years, and they'll say to me, I've never gotten sick, so why do I need to worry about it? But what happens if you bring an infant into the home, or if you bring someone into the home that's older and their immune system isn't as strong as ours? That's when you can start to run into problems as well.
So people can build up an immunity to these pathogens, bring in someone who's not accustomed to that water supply, and they could get very, very sick.
Absolutely.
And this is an inexpensive insurance policy against that kind of thing.
Perfect way to put it, absolutely.
All right. So how do we install one of these things? What are some things I need to know if I'm installing this in my home?
Okay, well, this is a typical UV system. This will treat about 10 gallons per minute, and a typical home flows around 10 gallons per minute.
Okay.
So what you want to do is it'll be installed right like this, straight up and down. Now, one thing you want to remember, though, is you want to have clean water going through here. Bacteria is present in all kinds of water, but we want that water nice and crystal clear because there's a lamp that goes right down the middle of this reactor, and we want the light to get all the way over to the wall so all the water is being treated. So you want to make sure you have pre-filtration and that any other components like hardness or iron are taken out of the water before the water actually goes through this system.
And there's some specific parameters for the water. There needs to be hardness less than 5 grains per gallon.
Yep.
Iron less than 0.3 parts per million, 0.3 parts per million, turbidity less than 0.1, I think it was.
1 NTU, yes.
1 NTU, right? And let's see, we can get the rest of those up on the website for those of us that are watching here.
Yeah, those are the
Yeah, but it's important that it's clear water, crystal clear, so that the UV rays can penetrate through the water.
Absolutely, because what the water's actually touching is what this is called a quartz sleeve here, and there's a lamp slid inside here. So the water's actually touching this sleeve. If any hardness starts to fall out of solution, it will scale this sleeve, and then the light cannot get out.
And then the light can't penetrate the scale and get to the water and the microorganisms.
Absolutely.
So good, purified water going into the system.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else do we need to know? What are some of the different model options? What are the different types of systems that are available?
What we have is, you have ones that can treat a whole home, or we have ones that can treat just at point of use, so one faucet. We have different models, so this is a basic model, so basically you just have your reactor, there's a lamp, there's a sleeve, and then a controller.
Is this the controller here?
Yeah, that would be the controller there. But we also have different models that they'll have another port on the side, like this reactor here. They'll have another port on the side with a strange contraption, which what we call a sensor. And what that is like a little eye, and it's reading the light. So if there's any scaling on the sleeve, that sensor is going to start beeping and let you know there's something wrong with this system.
So this is an added level of protection?
Absolutely.
If I'm not absolutely sure that the system is working, I can trust that this is telling me the UV rays are penetrating.
Yeah, so it's more of an advanced model.
Okay.
So really, when we recommend to customers which model to use or which model to look for, we want to know what kind of water they have. If they have really good water, it's probably not necessary to have all the bells and whistles. But
Okay.
if they have a concern, they know they have E. coli, they have small children in the home, this is when they go to a more advanced model.
Okay, great, good to know. So what happens, how do I know when to change the bulb? What tells me?
What's great about UV, it's very, very simple. Simple maintenance. You take the system, make sure you have all your water treatment, you install it, and you walk away from it. What happens is the UV lamps need to be replaced once a year, because what the actual UV rays start to decrease over time. So once a year you want to change out that bulb and you want to replace it. So it's very, very simple. It takes about 5 minutes to replace the bulb. Basically, the bulb actually runs down the center of the system. You just have to unscrew it. No tools involved. Basically, make sure your water is off, pull out this lamp, put in a new lamp, and then reset your ballast, which is simply putting your new lamp before you apply power, hold down the button, plug it in, and that's it.
Does the system give me an alarm? Is there a light? Is there a beep that tells me? Or...
Yeah, all of our systems have both audible and visual alarm.
Okay.
So at the end of 1 year, what's going to happen is the system is going to start beeping at you. You'll come down and take a look at it, and there's actually an indicator to let you know, hey, I need a new lamp.
Okay.
Now, it's not a Mayday situation. They have to get it immediately. You have about a month to replace your lamp, about 4 weeks, until they actually start to decrease in their intensity.
So the bulbs wear out over the course of a year, but at the end, in the last month, they really crash and burn.
Absolutely.
So the alarm goes off, it's time to get on the internet, go to waterfilters.net, and find a new bulb. And they need to use a genuine Trojan UV bulb.
Absolutely. We have a program called Get Genuine. We want to make sure that people are actually using the bulb that was designed for this system. We've done a lot of testing on these systems, actually putting microorganisms through it, counting how many are coming out on the other side, just to see how well that they work. So we want to make sure that they're using the right bulb, that bulb that was actually designed for this system, to make sure that they're getting safe water.
And there is a difference in bulbs.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it's not a genuine Trojan bulb, we don't know what it's going to do to this system,
Yep.
if it's going to short it out, or if it's genuinely producing the kind of UV rays that we need to kill the microorganisms,
That's
right?
exactly right. And another thing you want to consider is when we sell these systems, we never sell them without electrical certification. So we go through something called CSA, CE, UL. We sell these into over 105 countries all over the world. So this lamp and this ballast are married together. If somebody uses a different lamp, it could short out, possibly cause a fire, and could cause a problem with insurance later on if there is something like that.
Yeah, and big red flag, it also voids the warranty of the unit if you don't use a genuine Trojan bulb.
Absolutely.
So you want to be safe on the warranty, you want to call up customer service at waterfilters.net and think you have a legitimate problem with the system, you better be sure you've been using the genuine bulb or you're not going to have any warranty whatsoever. So, important issue. So, one last thing, let's talk about some just easy troubleshooting things. What are some obvious things that are going to happen that we can recognize or help our clients recognize? They think their system isn't working. What are some things to look for?
Okay, well keep in mind that this is going to be a new piece of equipment to a homeowner. I mean, if I've never seen anything like this before, I mean, I'm going to be a little apprehensive about it. Very first thing when you're installing it, install it on its own circuit. You don't want to put it on a circuit that is attached to a pump, because if a pump comes on, it's going to draw power away from the system. Another thing you want to do is to make sure that you have the proper water treatment equipment before. Test your water, know how much hardness is in there. One thing that we hear about a lot is, my system's not working, I'm getting counts, I'm getting bacteria counts. Well, then they'll pull out their quart sleeve and it could be completely orange or completely white from hardness. Make sure that they have the right treatment components before the system. Simple things like just to make sure it has sufficient power, make sure that it's installed properly. If you were to install the system but you were to put it in upside down like this, well, what happens in a hot basement with cold water running through? Condensation will come down, it'll short out your parts. Just very, very simple things to look for. As long as you install it the way that we specified, you shouldn't run into any problems.
Okay. Well, these are really exciting systems, and I know that they offer our clients an opportunity to feel just really, really safe
Yeah.
about their water.
Absolutely.
And we're glad that we can offer them. Is there anything else you can think of that we've missed already?
The only thing I can think to add is, I mean, we're not a new company. Trojan Technologies is a company that's been out there for almost 30 years. I mean, we treat New York City's water. We have a water treatment plant in New York City that's 2.3 billion gallons a day. We have a ton of research behind this product, so anything you need to know, we're the experts and we can help you.
2.3 billion gallons of water a day.
That's a lot of UV. They're a lot bigger than this one.
I bet, I bet. Well, Melissa, it's been a real pleasure, and thank you for being with us today on Water Wisdom.
Great.